What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another math tutorial video. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to use some properties of radicals to simplify mathematical expressions. And we're going to be looking at an example that looks something like this. We're going to have the fourth root of 8 times the fourth root of 8. So there's a property in algebra that states that whenever you have radicals with indices or numbers that are inside of the radicals that are the same. So for example, there's a 4, right? This radical has an index of 4. This radical has an index of 4, and we're multiplying these two radicals. We can combine them by giving them their own. So we can combine the numbers that are inside of the actual radical, right? The numbers that we call the radicands. We can multiply them together, and I'll show you what I mean. And by the way, this is called the product property. So since my roots are the same, I can rewrite this as the fourth root. I can rewrite this as the fourth root of 8 times 8. Okay, but before we multiply these two numbers, I want to urge you to try to see if you can somehow unpack what's inside of the radical symbol in a way that you can then combine it again so that it has the fourth power. And I'll show you what I mean. So say for instance, here we have two 8s and they're being multiplied to each other, right? Well, I can write this 8 as 2 times 4, right? I can also write this other 8 as 2 times 4, right? And so if I have 2 times 4 and then 2 times 4, well, that would give me 2 to the second and then 4 to the second, which is not a power I want. I want to see if I can somehow get a number that I can then take it to the fourth power. But if you look closely, we can actually rewrite this 4 as 2 times 2, right? And we can also take this other 4 as 2 times 2 as well. So if you notice, we can actually rewrite what's inside of the parentheses as the fourth root. Let me move up a little bit. We can rewrite what's inside of the radical, as the fourth root of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, almost there, times 2 times 2. So essentially what I just did is I took these two 8s and I unpacked them, or I rewrote them as the following expression, right? Or set of numbers. And why did I go through all this trouble? Because then I can see, okay, I can actually group a couple of these numbers, right? And I can regroup a couple of these numbers and put them to the fourth power. So say for instance, I could take this group of 2's and rewrite it as the fourth root of 2 to the fourth power times, and we don't want to forget our other 2's, times 2 times 2. And so you see that unfortunately we can't, we're left with a set of 2's that we can't take to the fourth power, because if we combined these would actually be 2 to the second. But the nice thing about rewriting it this way is that we can see that here I have a root of 4, and then I have a power of 4 inside of the radical. And so whenever you have a root and a power inside of the radical that are the same, your answer is just going to be the base. Or you can take out that 2 and write it on the outside. So we're going to write it as 2, right? Because the root and the power are the same. But you don't want to forget that inside of the radical, you're still left with 2 times 2. And since we can't really simplify that, you could just multiply them back together so that you get a nice clean answer of 2 times this. And I just forgot my fourth root. Excuse me, let me just write it in there. So we can rewrite this as 2 times the fourth root, 2 times the fourth root of 4. So hopefully this math tutorial made sense for you and you were able to take something away from it. Stay tuned for more math tutorial videos, and I'll see you guys next time.